And hello, everyone. Welcome back to my usual Tuesday night hangout. Tonight I don't have a topic. We're just gonna talk. We're just gonna ramble on. I used up all my brains last night in the chat I had in Habib's channel, and so today I'm just gonna let my neurons rest. So, how are you guys, by the way?
Regenerating your brain cells.
Yeah, I'm filling up the deposit. It's the fuel tank with Guinness. So yeah, I'll be. Yeah.
It's the same for me. Like last night, I did 3 streams, one with Mocha, and then mine, and then I went on Top Hats and Champagne. And between the stream that we did and the Top Hat and Champagne one, I was on Skype, so I was talking as well. And it's my voice is just not doing that well.
You are very. I don't envy you. I don't envy anyone. Just to make that clear,
I don't think myself was popular though. I mean,
you have good points and stuff. Yeah.
I still can't wrap my head around the idea that among the people that follow me on Twitter and among the people that follow me on YouTube as well, there are those who are not really friends or acquaintances, they're just fans. And I still don't know how to deal with that category of people. Like
shit.
In my head, there is like family, acquaintances, friends, close friends.
Yeah.
And then fans just pop up out of nowhere. And you're like, where do I put you guys? Like, you don't fit any category. What the hell?
Yeah. I was in a stream with St. Clair, and this guy by the name of Padre Speaks was in the chat, and then the next day he followed me on Twitter and told me I need to, quote, keep up the good work, and I didn't know how to handle that, so I quoted his tweet and said, "I have a fan? No. Quick, point and laugh at this person so it doesn't happen again."
Shit, while I was on the chat last night, Mr. Black made me blush, man. Far out. He said, "Oh God," he did exactly what you guys described. He said, "I seem to have found a fan," and I don't. I will be I am flabbergasted because
I am. It's like, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I am your fan of all of you and all the people which I follow and engage. I am the fan of all of you, and I'm happy about that. Don't get me wrong. I know about me, but damn, when someone says that to me, I become all whoa. So yeah,
it's amazing. Like it's almost like I don't feel good enough to have a fan. Like I mean, sure, I know some things about some things, but like when someone like says that they admire what I did, it's like, are you talking about me? What?
Wait until you get your first fan art. And
what were they admiring exactly?
It was in the stream where we were talking about slavery, sort of like the follow up to your fourth vid.
Oh, were they admiring you for your help for me researching that video? Was that the gist of it?
Well, they were admiring the input I was giving towards the stream because do you remember the stream we had? I think it was the day after you posted that.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah. And that guy Padre Speaks followed me, and I'm like, what? Huh? What? Why?
Like I said to you guys, I mean, I don't consider myself a huge YouTuber or anything. Like, I'm just 2,000 something followers that I have on YouTube. But wait until you get your first fan art, and then you're gonna be like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to do with this? What is this now?
I'll add it to an avatar. That's what I'll do.
Today, someone photoshopped my face along with others on the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And
the League of Extraordinary Shit Posters. I saw that.
Yeah, and it's me, Crowd and T, Milo Yiannopoulos, Sargon of Akkad, Griffix, the Llama Dude, and Thunderfoot. And he's like, just a return of thanks for some of my favorite YouTubers. And I was like, So you put me in the same league as Thunderfoot. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah. I think I would lose my shit if somebody put me up there with Thunderfoot. I'm like, what? No. I am just
I
a
know.
lowly. I'm just a lowly scrub compared to the likes of Thunderfoot.
If I had,
Oh,
if I got a lot of fans, a lot of new fans, in a very short period of time, I think I would very quickly become a narcissist. Honestly,
Oh, I couldn't. I can't. I don't
Well,
know.
it would fit your avatar.
I'd almost start thinking of quitting. Really, it would frighten me a bit. I haven't thought about it now, but just thought about it now. Up until now, I thought about it now. And shit, it would scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, well, you kind of deal with it. The one thing that you need to, you're going to have to struggle with it at first, but you're going to have to learn that not every single comment, not every single tweet has to be answered. Because if you do that,
I've already learned by the people I follow. I don't have to answer every tweet that they do, and I don't have to watch every video that
no. I mean the tweets that are directed at you, and all the DMs they're going to send to you.
Oh yeah. I don't do that. I ignore it even now, and I'm really small because shit.
Because it gets overwhelming, especially like when you make a video or something that leaves any kind of impact. Then you get that flood of replies and DMs and stuff, and you're just like, you appreciate it. I mean, I do appreciate every single one of them, but I just can't reply to all of them. That would take me forever. And
Yeah, like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
You can't just reply by going like, thanks for the input and just end it there, because they would want to have a conversation. And I can't have like 30, 40 conversations at the same time. It's not possible.
I recently hit 400 followers on Twitter, and it's actually getting to a point where every time I say something, my phone spends the next, like, say, minute to a minute and a half, like, telling me that I got notification. Yeah.
You have to turn that stuff off.
Yeah.
I turned that off when I had 100 and something followers because it was fucking annoying as hell.
I turned it off as soon as I installed the Twitter app. It's like, no, this is annoying. In the middle of tonight, I want to sleep. Get lost. No notifications.
Imagine if you were somebody like Sargon, and it would just be ringing and vibrating nonstop.
Oh my God, there's no battery in the world that's big enough or that can hold a charge large enough to handle that.
Yeah, you have no choice but to turn that stuff off, really. Eventually. I mean, if you have more than 100, 150, you're going to start running into annoyances like that.
Yeah, and I still don't block or mute. My block and mute list is completely clear.
No, I have a couple of spam bots blocked, but that's it.
I've never blocked anybody, but I have deleted comments before on my channel. I delete comments that are explicit advertisements, and that's about it.
Well, I know Sorry. I do know a great quote from a Dutch band, a punk band, ages ago. They used it on their album, or I think on their T-shirts or something. It's like, I'm not deaf, I'm just ignoring you. Great line to use.
Dude, about an hour ago, Tyler Preston 20's channel got taken down.
He did, yeah.
Acceptable losses.
Probably some mass
I'm sorry, that was mean.
Mass vlogging. But yeah, it happens. He's gonna come back.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, I figured I would have like heard something about it. I just I just heard about it in the chat from my favorite mum, Warped Reflection.
Yeah, I might sound like a noob right now, but who the hell is Tyler Preston?
He's everyone's black
favorite
friend.
Black
guy. He has a catchy intro song, and he talks about black on white issues, and he's basically the black shitlord, along with some black guy and that guy T, and a lesser known guy that I like a lot called Your Boy Pat.
I know him.
I like.
I've actually never met Tyler. I've met that guy T, and I've met obviously Devil's Advocate, but I've never met.
Oh yeah. I was in that post debate stream with Edgy and Tyler. Quiet guy in streams. Shockingly.
That sounds familiar. Can't remember who that might be. No, I don't know.
Here, I'll put his Twitter account in the side chat. You'll recognize him as soon as you see his picture.
Yeah,
I recognize the picture.
I follow all of them, and I like them to varying degrees. I like some aspects of some there is no except for the late Christopher Hitchens. I don't like everyone integrally. I love bits of everyone. So if I upset anyone, tough titties. I am a skeptic. That is me. I am skeptical of myself. I'm skeptical of everything, and
I can't live like that.
so I don't. Yeah, no, I do. I have to do that. It keeps me. No, it keeps. Of course, I can be completely fucked up, stupid. I can, and I am.
Curious about something.
But,
Are you an existential skeptic as well?
Do you question
What
your
the
own
fuck does that mean?
Do you question
Oh
your
no,
own
no,
existence?
I am. I think, therefore, I am.
All right.
No, I don't doubt my being, and I don't doubt my. I've done all those sort of thought experiments of.
I worry a little bit about skepticism because it does lead to that sort of mindset where you can't know anything for true or for.
Oh no!
Can't know anything to be true or anything to be false.
I haven't gotten that far in.
I
Jeez.
think people often mix up skepticism with a healthy sense of doubt.
Yes, I am. I am skeptical, but not to that degree. I like evidence. That's what it is. So, in any argument that I do, I present my evidence always. If no one presents my evidence, I just basically Hitchens razor them. Easy as that. Simple.
What's a Hitchens razor?
A Hitchens razor. If
Claims made without evidence can be dismissed without evidence.
exactly.
All right.
Simple.
And
Love that.
The other one is extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
Claims. Yes, exactly. That was one of the first things I learned when I joined Twitter, and I started. I was debating creationists. Was ingrained into me quickly. So, yeah, it was fun times.
Yeah,
It was like the childhood of my Twittery, debating creationists. Shit, I could only. 3 weeks later, I quit. I said, "Oh God, these cunts just repeat themselves. Fuck it," and I'd search for other more interesting things.
I dated a Christian girl, and I have to tell you, I thought she was just the greatest thing ever. I mean, I absolutely loved her absolute faith and her strength of character that she believed she got from her faith, and she was a wonderful human being, and I just thought she was the best. However, she couldn't stop trying to convince me there was a God. And here's the thing, like, she would start a conversation about, oh, well, there's a God, because that's a debate to me. I don't know if you guys have seen me debate on Twitter. It's not pretty.
Nope.
And and it didn't work out too well because she kept trying to debate the existence of God with me, and I did not take it well.
I would very much like to see you do a debate on Twitter. Stage one for me, why don't you?
I followed a few of Marty's debates on Twitter. I occasionally like to tweet, but when I see that I'm not needed, I usually stay out.
I wish I
I
could
learned
do
that as early as well.
I envy you the ability to do that.
Yeah, so do I. I have to.
I have to. I
can't say no to a good argument. I can't. I just can't.
I can't even say no to a bad argument.
That too, yeah.
I usually apply that when two of my friends are arguing viciously, and then I stay out. That is when I absolutely stay out. I don't even on either side. Let them argue. Uh, I'm neutral, and I will not be drawn into it. If I am, I'll just both of them are gone because I can't choose, and I will not choose. But I've seen tweets where if I think I could add, I won't be adding anything that person. I've seen Twitter arguments. I followed it from the start, and I came to the conclusion: nope, I will not be adding anything that this person is absolutely destroying the other idiot. So why just get into it for the sake of getting into it? That's how I think. Personally, I'm not saying it's right, wrong, or that's subjective.
I just stay away from drama because it's a waste of time.
Absolutely.
That's
But,
my view on it.
Well, I'm eristic. I can't not argue. Arguing is life. I get. It's practically a drug to me at this point. Like, if I find an argument and I see its weakness, I got to attack it, and then I'll spend the next 3 to 4 days arguing with somebody, and it's such an endorphin rush. I can't even explain it.
Well, I can relate to it. I mean, I used to be that way. It's just right now. I don't know. I guess you get tired of it after a while. Yeah, it gets old. Just like drugs again. It gets old. You try to find something else. And for me, it just doesn't do it to me. Especially like when it's online drama and just, banter and stupid arguments back and forth. Sometimes I even predict all the answers that they're going to give me and before they even type it. And you already have the reply ready. So you just go like, hey,
Yeah,
just
that's
type it.
a
It's
good idea.
you're on autopilot at that point. There's no
Yeah.
joy in it anymore.
Yeah, I've actually called out people's arguments before they made them. Actually, just a few days ago, some guy accused me of, quote, attacking equality. And the thing is I asked him, please show me where I attacked equality. And then I added, watch him now quote the dictionary definition of feminism. And he blocked me. He didn't even like get a chance. He blocked me as soon as I called him out for exactly what he was about to do.
Nice.
I use that as well. I learned I cut my teeth. Even now, I have stopped these last 2 years because it was actually impacting on my health. Believe it or not, football or soccer. In Portuguese football, soccer in particular, it is the epitome of George Orwell's double think you can apply into any aspect of any society. It's all pervasive, it's all encompassing, and the three major teams, the followers, the commentators of each of the big teams here in Portugal, they practice it to the most highest level of perfection. And I learned that so well. And Marius, I also do that if I ever get if someone like the SJWs or whatever. They don't, which is fucking annoying. I want people to tag me and start arguing with that side to do that, because sometimes I'm bored as shit. So I have to have some app. I try to insert myself, but then they block me, and it's frustrating. Probably because I don't have enough followers yet, but I'm getting there.
I'll do everything I can to help.
No, I know, yeah, but shit, I'd love to have an SJW on this little.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind talking to
Little
any of them.
channel.
I talked to a few, but none of them would actually show up and have an actual conversation.
Well,
First, I want to get him one.
Oh yeah, I love Tim. Tim's great. But the thing about Tim is you won't be able to trigger him like you will most SJWs, because Tim has the single most important quality that most SJWs lack. Tim has a sense of humor. And,
Oh, no,
and
no,
this is-
no. I don't. I will never, if I have a debate with them, I will never try to trigger. I will just be ideas. I'll try to I'll debunk their ideas. And if they can't debunk mine, then I win. Just that. No, I will be super polite. I can be super polite. I won't even swear. And if they want me to use their fucking pronouns, I'll even do that. I can be a perfect gentleman. It'll be just ideas against ideas. No, if any part starts ad hominems, I'll say, oh, stop, no swearing. We are going to just discuss ideas, nothing of that. And sort of those type of things. I would also like to have a debate with what's that other one? The British guy.
Kevin Logan?
Yes, him. Yes, Kevin Logan. Mm-hmm. And especially little Mikey, the porn stash guy.
Michael Rowlands, the guy who was appropriating my toga.
Yes, exactly. I would love to have I'd keep him on track unless he leaves. But then I'll just put on the preconditions. If you leave, you lose the argument. I'll do that. Insult you or anything, but if you leave, you lose the argument. That's the precondition I have for my debates. Simple.
Yeah, somebody forced me to leave an argument. Well, maybe they didn't force me, but yeah, they angered me, and I left in a rage. And I do think I lost that. But the person I was arguing with, he's a guy called Socrates of Cat. Maybe you've heard of him, maybe not.
Met
But
the guy. I was on a couple of streams with him.
He's
familiar that
the way he argues is he argues in a way that's well, essentially what he is a skeptical nihilist. So he doesn't have any real ideas of his own because he doesn't have any conception of what the truth is. Essentially, the way he argues is to destroy his opponent's positions without actually presenting an opposing position. And I dislike that intensely.
That is the position the three commentators from the club here, Sporting Club of Lisbon, of Portugal, use a lot. Just that. I know that if you guys, I will probably use these analogies because that's how I recognize them.
The way he argues is essentially multiple variations on the question why. So he'll ask why, and you give him an explanation. Then he'll ask why again in a different format.
Yeah.
And then you give another explanation behind that one, and he essentially just dissects he dissects your entire position until you're left with nothing.
Yes, that's a very good. That's a very circular tactic that they use. I love that. Why? It reminds me a lot of.
Sorry. It essentially just comes down. What all arguments boil down to with those types of people are differences in opinion with regards to epistemology.
Yes.
Yeah. I have a bad habit of asking all the questions. Like, the first quarter of any argument I have is always asking questions. I need to get their definitions. I need to know how they define this term, what this means to them, why this does this. I need to see how they think so I can properly deconstruct their argument and end up blocked like the victor that I am. Because to me, being blocked means I won. Because if they have to block me, then that means they can't counter my argument. And I don't spam. I send 1 or 2 replies and then wait for a reply back. And in order to properly get blocked, you have to deconstruct their argument. And it's such a beautiful thing to watch people slowly get more and more triggered the more and more you counter every single point they got. It's a very, very fun activity.
Yeah, I can imagine being on the other side of that, but I didn't enjoy it. But then again, he probably doesn't argue in the same way that you do. You probably argue against points with counterpoints and not just deconstructive questions.
Yeah, of course. Well, well, deconstructive questions are a part of it, because if you can hit them with just the right question, like something like, how does this apply to you and not me, or the vice versa, you can always get them in a corner, because if they can't answer that question, you will watch them lose their mind.
I suppose the end goal of the argument is very important, what you're trying to accomplish. Because if what you're trying to accomplish is to convince the other person of your position, that's fine. If your goal is to convince the other person to abandon their epistemology in favor of yours, that's a little bit angering to me, just in my view.
Yeah, when they try and set my definitions for me, that's a pretty quick way to get me to turn on the asshole switch. Now, I'm typically kind of an asshole when I argue, but when you start trying to define my definitions for me, I will, I'll go full asshole, and I won't I'll start quoting every single one of your tweets, and I won't even refer to you in the second person. I will refer to you in the third, as if you're not even worth a direct confrontation.
Quoting people's tweets is a good way to trigger them. People get touchy about that sort of thing.
Yes, they do.
Because essentially, the way that they perceive it is, you already assume that you've won the argument, and you're declaring to your subscribers that is the case because of this particular thing that you said, that the other person has said.
Mm-hmm.
Very much so, and it's sometimes I'll do it just to troll. Like, there's this guy. I recommend you find him and troll him, because he is the biggest example of a lolcow I've met since I started Twittering. He's a dude by the name of Jerry Wallington, and he is so desperate to prove himself to strangers on the internet. You could tweet at him once. Yeah. You could tweet at him once.
No. I was going to say sorry, I have to disagree. To prove anything to anyone, trust me.
Is it at GJ Wallington 2?
235. He's been blocked. So many. He's been blocked. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Trust me.
You okay?
He's a friend of mine. As you guys are, I won't be in the middle. He doesn't have to prove anything. I'm not saying you guys think he's wrong, what you guys think is wrong or anything. I don't think I know, and I don't think he knows. No, let me say it again. The cough sort of threw me off. I know that he doesn't have to prove anything. But your opinion is valid as you see people. Don't get me wrong. Hope I haven't triggered anyone by saying this.
No. I'm not.
Okay.
You are allowed to have all the friends you want to have. However,
yes.
The only thing I can say is that he doesn't have to prove himself to anybody, but he seems really, really adamant about proving himself to everybody. Like, I felt like poking him with a stick one day, and I said, why don't you go cash your welfare check? And I spent the entire day just milking him for lull after lull after lull, because he was just losing his mind. It was hilarious.
I won't comment on that. I see all his tweets, all yours. I won't comment. I'm neutral here, guys. I'm not here, so you guys can continue.
No. It's perfectly all right. I'm off the subject. I just.
No.
Yeah.
We talked about me. Before with the chat, we were just you and me, Matthias. So yes, I accept that, of course. So you see what I mean? We talked about what friends have to do. Just bring that up. Just mention that. But no, I won't interfere. I won't give my. I will remain neutral if friends of mine because I have friends from all sorts of areas, start arguing with each other. It's them. It's not me. I don't
Well, I
give a
mean,
shit.
I wasn't even arguing. I was just trolling. I mean, there was nothing to argue. I'm pretty sure me and him don't disagree on anything at all, except for the fact that he thinks he's better than me, which he has actually came out and said. But I'll put that to the side. But I was just trolling him because he was so easy to troll. I mean,
I can't say anything. Honestly, I can't say anything.
Oh, he's pleading the fifth. That's the
Yep,
easy one.
yeah, and we can totally move on. I mean,
Oh yeah, we can. Yeah, exactly. No, it's
Anybody
this is what friends should. Fuck's sake, people, we should talk about stuff like that. I don't necessarily have to take a position, and I won't take a position, but we can still talk about it. We talked about it. I stated my position, which I won't get involved. So that's my position. Of course, we can talk about that. It doesn't make me uncomfortable. I'll say it to his face, and I have friends in chat here which will obviously, if they do transmit it to him, I'll say it to his face. I've seen you in the I am neutral and that with my friends because they're not touching on me. If they do ask me for a position because I like them both, I'll probably most likely no. You're putting me in a position which I don't want to be. I'll have to decline because.
Hello, Modwayne.
Hey, Mudwayne.
Let's see if it's working for him now.
Hello, people. It should be a little bit better.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
To go
I hear you just fine.
time though.
And I'm sorry for not saying much because your chat is being distracting me by talking about food.
We could talk about Tyler Preston.
No, but yeah, discussing the right kind of syrup to use for either French toast or waffles is way more interesting.
Well, you use syrup for that? No, you use sugar.
Well, I mean, yeah, powdered sugar is nice, but sometimes I do
Powdered?
like the. Yeah, it's nice. I do like it.
That's such a cop-out way to. No, you use normal sugar, and you caramelize it.
Well, yeah, if you use brown sugar for that, it would work as well.
Hmm?
I don't know. I don't really like the taste of caramelized sugar, to be honest.
Not
No, not really.
blasphemer, you are, aren't you?
Like
I'm just very picky about food. Don't get me wrong. I would eat it either way, but when I cook, I'm very particular about the way I prepare.
One of the most divine dishes with caramelized sugar is baklava.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, baklava. But the way we prepare it here is just a little bit too sweet for my taste.
Too sweet, yes. I had it with my. I think we talked about it yesterday with my Greek friends, family. But I've also eaten it in Lisbon. There was a Israeli restaurant, and I ate it there as well. And I didn't find it very sweet. I found it at the right point. Because baklava is the most. It's technically the most easiest dish you can make. It's just furlough pastry with pistachios and sugary syrup and caramelized sugar on top.
Well, I can't wait till next month when I'm back in Holland again. Oliebollen! Yes, Dutch donuts. Can't wait.
Yes.
We'll gain a couple of stones by just eating one, but I don't care. It's like, yes, it's good food.
Shit,
Food
food is probably the best thing in the world. Food and drink.
You
the
know,
only thing about
Oh,
food
sorry.
I'm still kind of trying to learn is cheese, because I never really grew up in a cheese culture. Like for us, cheese is like cheddar cheese that you put in a sandwich. That's it, and maybe mozzarella for your lasagna, but nothing else there was nothing else that I grew up with.
Oh my
And
God.
then I moved to a big international city like Dubai, and there are specialized cheese shops that you go there and like there's a million types of cheese.
Oh, well, if you ever get the chance and you're over in Europe, in Holland, go to his cheese store. It's a small store in general, completely specialized in cheeses, and ask for just bits and pieces of cheese. And
Yeah, they do that
So
here.
many- Yeah.
They do that in cheese restaurant, in cheese stores in here. And I'm still exploring with it. Like I would go there and just ask the store attendant, like, okay, I'm kind of new to this. I'm trying to prepare this and this and that. So what do I use? And they would present me with different kinds, and I would just taste that little tiny cube on a toothpick, and I'm like, no frame of reference. Just give me whatever.
Cheese is probably the most quiet taste. One of the most quiet tastes you can have.
Yes.
Like single malt Scotch whiskey is also one. Many whiskey drinkers can't stand single malt, but cheese, I like the most smelliest, foul-looking cheese you can have, as if it's creamy and gives. It has to kill not kill in the most sensuous, pleasurable way possible my mouth. It has to kill me that way. See what I mean? I'm trying to do an analogy to explain how fucking awesome cheese can be, but it can also be the most horrific thing you put in your mouth if you're not used to it.
Oh yeah, for me it is the old Frisian cheese, or the mature one. I'm not sure how old it is, but you can't slice it off with a knife. It's so brittle, it just falls off, it crumbles. But as soon as you eat it, you get that very salty taste straight away. It's like a kick. It's like, oh, that's quite salty, and then the full flavor comes out, and it's like, oh my god. This has been ripening for like 14 months, 2 years, so you can eat it. And
and then the aftertaste just comes out from like the bottom of your throat, and you're just like, this is nothing that I've tasted before. Like, this is not what cheese used to do to me. It's all new to me, and I've been exploring it for the past 3 years, and I'm still fascinated every single time I get a new brand of cheese or a new kind of cheese. Like I'm very much a noob when it comes to that, and I do envy the Europeans, I would say, with their cuisine for having such a rich thing that I have no exposure to whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, in here we the only thing that we have quite a diverse selection of is dates. Like we have so many kinds of dates. It's not even funny. Like, yeah, most people would go like, yeah, just the squishy kind of brownish dates that you get in stores. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like the crappy stuff that we get in here. Different kind of palm trees, and if you harvest them in different times of the year, you get different types of dates. And it depends on how you age them, how you press them, and sometimes you even boil them before you eat them. So I don't know if it's going to ever gain international kind of exposure like cheese would, but because basically like the production of dates is very limited, so we don't have enough supply to just export it everywhere, and I don't think it's going to have the appeal anyway. But it's pretty nice. Like if you're ever in the Middle East, try to get into eating different kinds of dates.
I will certainly try, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of dates. It's something. Well, when I was young, we were on holiday in the south of France with my parents. We had dates, and I never liked them. But most likely because it's cheap shite you're getting. But I never liked the taste.
Like, okay, you can. If I'm going to compare it with cheese, the kind of dates you get over there in the West is the same kind of like Kraft cheddar cheese compared to the finer cheeses that you have.
Yes.
So that's not the way to measure how good dates are. So, yeah, I get if most Westerners would go like, I'm not into dates. I'm like, yeah, because you never had the good ones.
Yeah, no,
I could probably agree with yes. We have dates. We import dates from Morocco here in Portugal for our Easter smorgasbord. We put on the table just the first snack, and the dates that we get that crash hot, unfortunately, because I know there are better dates out there. Trust me, I do.
It reminds me of something that George Carlin once said. In America, we import a lot of our food from other countries, and honestly, what Habib just said reminded me of a George Carlin quote. It's not true that they don't make them like they used to. They do make them like they used to. They just keep them now.
No, especially when it comes to dates, for the past decade, most of the date farms are being destroyed either by drought or by trees just getting sick. There's been this bug that just hollows the entire palm tree from inside out, and they haven't had a successful way of combating that without destroying the entire farm. So they're still kind of like, they're big research centers over here just to try to combat that, and they haven't been successful so far. So that's hurt the dates industry quite a bit. And also, before the second Gulf War, back in the 90s, Iraq was the third biggest country of exporting dates. They don't export any of that anymore. So, yeah, that's put, like, the entire industry took a huge hit because of that. So yeah, I mean, I don't really see it getting international, at least not the good stuff, anytime soon because of these reasons. And it's a bit of a shame. But yeah, if you're ever here, let me know. I'll hook you up.
Cool, man. Yep. Were there last year at where you live.
Oh, nice. How did they like it?
They loved it. They went on a safari, a jeep ride into the desert, and that they had a meal under a tent.
Yeah, with the
It's
belly
all
dancer and
packaged.
everything.
Yeah, probably a package tour type thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you pay something like 30 euros for that, and you get the desert. They call it dune riding or something. They would get on a jeep, one of those specialized jeeps, and they would just ride through the dunes. And then they'd sit on a tent. They gather around, and there's some entertainment there. It would be something like a magic show or something. And there's some guy with a falcon, and then the belly dancing, which is my favorite part.
And the meal.
And a buffet dinner.
Yeah,
And it's
buffet,
just for 30 euros. It's not bad.
Oh, shit, I really have to get some money. Fuck, I'm a poor cunt. Because I want to do that. No, I'm running out of time.
Yeah, well, you always have time, buddy.
Yeah, no worries.
Just make it here in the next 2 years, because I don't think we're going to stay here for more than 2 years.
You just have to take care, man. That's all. I really am worried about you.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, I know you are, but you know what I mean. I'm a caring cunt.
Yeah, as long as you can leave the country safely, then
Yeah, so far.
You can always come to Portugal. You'll be absolutely fucking guaranteed safety and shit. You won't get paid as much, but if you have an international business, you can just base it here and still be okay. Just putting it out there.
You're such a caring Castrejo.
Or he could put on 50 pounds and move to the States. There's also that.
Yeah, I mean, okay, when I looked
If he
into
wants
like
to blend in, he's going to have to gain at least 120.
No. He doesn't have to gain anything. He will automatically do so once he's there.
No, all the American brands are
Yes.
here. Like, if I were to get fat of American food, over here, McDonald's, KFC, and even Taco Bell delivers. So I don't even have to go there. They do home delivery. Fucking A. But
there's a difference in McDonald's where you are and McDonald's in America. There really is.
well, I would almost say McDonald's pretty much worldwide. What do you mean delivery?
Yeah.
Come over here.
In America, you'll
get
find,
beer
in America, you'll find McDonald's across the street from each other. I mean, they're that common.
Well, true that.
we have that with Starbucks over here. It's crazy. They're all over the place. But a story about McDonald's. When I was in Moscow, and I spent a couple of days just exploring the Red Square, and just trying to explore the history and Moscow is still very mysterious to me. I don't really understand. I still don't know all the details of their history, and it's all encompassed in that square. You can see a lot of museums there, a lot of monuments. It's pretty amazing. But right next to the square, there's like a McDonald's and a kebab shop, which is kind of conflicting with the whole. Yeah, whatever.
That's funny.
But McDonald's has a historical significance. It's the first store, the first brand that was outside of the Iron Curtain that was ever opened in the USSR. So over there, they have a little gallery of photos and all that kind of stuff, like memorials of their opening day. And there were people lining up in the thousands just to taste this mystical thing called a burger from the US. And I went there. I was like, okay, well, I'm here. I have to go to this McDonald's and have a little burger. I stood in line. I had the burger, and they gave it to me, and I sat down, took the first bite, and I was like, "Oh God, it still tastes shitty." It was just a shitty burger.
Yeah. But that's the one thing that's true for all McDonald's.
Oh yeah, let me tell you this.
Yeah.
I used to be a vegetarian, and it was close to 25 years that I was a vegetarian. And for reasons, I quit doing that and I had to eat meat again. And the first time I went to McDonald's together with my wife, I was in Paisley, that's near Glasgow. And we went there, and my wife went like, "I'm hungry, let's go to McDonald's." Oh, fair enough, let's go. I had a Big Mac, cheeseburger, and a few other things. And I went like, well, the only thing that is close to edible here are the French fries. That's it. The meat is horrible.
Yeah.
The City Spiders, we do have Five Guys in here, and I did try their burger, and it's atrocious. It's fucking atrocious. Don't tell me that Five Guys are good. No, it's not.
They're good here. They're terrific.
Yeah, did you get it with all the bacon and cheese and fat on it?
Yep. And
Really?
and compared to other brands like just go to Shake Shack. They're cheaper and better.
I've never heard of that.
In the Netherlands, we have our own, how do you call them?
Chippy shops.
Yeah, chippy.
I know what you mean. And see, I've got plenty of mates around here, and most of them know it. Well, I'm from Holland, so they will go like, "Oh, I'm visiting Amsterdam. I'm visiting Holland." But it's like, no, you're not visiting Holland if you're just going to Amsterdam. But that's a different story. But everyone goes there, and we always say, well, go to the chippy shop, and we'll give them a list of things to get, like get this, get that, and you know what Dutch food is or fat food is. It is excellent.
I had mates over from England a few years back, and we went to the snack bar. And normally, when I go there on my own for €10, I eat a well-cooked dinner, so to speak. It's more than enough. €10, I'm done. The three of us spent €100 trying all things, and they just wanted more and more and more.
Oh yeah. Well, every time someone from our side of the family comes over, their suitcase is full with snack food.
Mm.
And as soon as we're going over to Holland, we go with a suitcase that's pretty much half full. Well, we go back close to over the limit where we can carry, and this year we're going with 3 suitcases. I'm pretty sure some supermarkets will be quite happy with us because we're going to raid the fridges and the freezers. Oh, snack food.
And here I am just eating a Canadian pepperoni pizza. Because why not?
Oh, pizza's good.
Yeah, why not?
A
What makes
Canadian pepperoni pizza
yeah.
in Dubai.
Well, what makes it Canadian though?
It's the brand is called 2 for 1. 2 for 1. It's a Canadian brand.
Do you have Canadian bacon on it?
Yep.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's not bad. I do when
America.
it comes to Canadian pizza brands or chains, I do prefer Boston Pizza, but we don't have them here. Hoping that one day they would open a Boston Pizza here. I do tease all the Canadians when they go like, "Yeah, we've got our Tim Hortons." Yeah, Tim Hortons are here as well, and they deliver. So in your fucking
Oh
face.
God, you bastard! The only thing I miss about living in Western New York is the Tim Hortons. They don't have a Tim Hortons where I am now. Oh, it is so good. Oh, I miss it so much. It's like a freaking drug. Well, I mean, it's caffeine, so it is a drug. But I mean, it's just perfect.
I wish I knew a little bit more about Dubai. It's home to. I know one thing about Dubai. It's home to. I think it's the tallest building on Earth at this point.
Yeah,
the Burj.
I can just walk out of my house right now and.
Is it the Burj something or other?
Burj Khalifa. It's 800 meters tall, and they're gonna build a taller one in Saudi. It's under construction now. It's gonna be 1 kilometer tall.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's amazing.
No, it's right next to one of the biggest malls in the world as well. It's called the Mall of Dubai, and you walk out of the mall through the back door, and there's like a big fountain with a fountain show. And my favorite thing to do is like when I go there to eat, I would just go out there, just next to the fountain because it's outdoors, and smoke a cigarette and see all the tourists just walking out of the mall and getting their first glimpse at the tower, and they just go like, "Holy fuck, it's big!" And they try to take a picture and they can't fit it in frame for the cameras. And
Are they trying to compensate for something?
Yeah, I was thinking about a joke as
I'm
well.
glad I wasn't the
The
one who
old
had to
joke,
say
the old joke. Sorry, I had to say
yeah,
the old joke.
it's I love the quote of
America, the oil rich Saudi and Saudi adjacent states, and Taiwan are all in constant constant conflict over who has the tallest building, and I use building in quotation marks.
Yeah, the thing is, like they did ask. There was an interview with the Emir of Dubai for the BBC a few years ago, and they did ask him about this kind of stuff. They're like, "Why are you developing all these things so rapidly? And the tallest tower, the biggest mall, and whatever?" And he's like, "If these kind of questions were asked to the pharaohs back in the ancient Egyptian days, would they have built the pyramids?"
And my answer to that would be, what is the function of the pyramids? I mean, why is this useful? Why?
Well, at least those towers are useful.
Well, I mean, you do have to look at how the ancient Egyptians saw the world. They thought that the more important you were, the more important your burial had to be. The pyramids were not only a symbol of national pride, and believe me, it's still to this day, 5,000 years later, a symbol of national pride, but also the pharaohs themselves believed themselves to be gods on earth, and therefore,
I suppose you can make that argument. But if in modern times, somebody asks you, why are you spending all this time and money on this building project, and your answer is some sort of appeal to aesthetics, I don't think your brain is in the right place.
I think a better answer would have been to put Dubai on the map. However, I think his answer left more of an impact because he compared those towers and those projects to the pyramids, which is, a very iconic symbol of civilizations. And yeah, he wants Dubai to be viewed as, a place that's, an iconic thing that is in Dubai that represents the human civilization. And I like that. I mean, I like that about him. He was asked as well. He's like, why are you rapidly developing everything? Like, you're spending billions of dollars on best schools, best colleges. Why don't you just take it gradually? And he's like, if we can afford it now, why should we wait till tomorrow? Like, it doesn't make any sense. We have the money for it now, and the budget is still they're doing pretty damn well. The oil industry is not slowing down. So why not develop now? Why shall we wait till later? It doesn't make any sense.
Absolutely, yes.
yeah, once the industrial revolution hit, the states just exploded, and it didn't need an explanation. We're doing it because we can, and it's the same thing with Dubai.
Yeah, I want to stay here until 2020. I might not be able to stay here till 2020, but I'm trying my best too, because in 2020 we're going to launch the first Arabic-led space program, or the space launch is going to be in 2020 anyway, and it's going to be a probe that's going to be launched to Mars, and it's going to be monitoring all the weather changes and climate changes in there. And the project is led and engineered all by UAE citizens. Like, they didn't really import any talent from outside or any labor from outside. It's all homebred. All the engineers and all the scientists were actually educated in Dubai as well. And they're so proud of it. And by the way, out of the 11 top scientists that are team leaders in that project, 4 of them were women. So I keep telling the women who are trying to go like, STEM fields are so misogynistic in the West and they can't go into STEM. I'm like, look at the Dubai women. 4 of the top scientists, first ever space program, and they're team leaders, top of the line. So Westerners, what the fuck is your excuse? I can't think of any, to be honest.
Maths is hard, apparently.
Yes.
Yes.
And hello, Otter. So
Hello.
this one become a sausage fest.
Needed more female representation here. I was getting a bit triggered.
Oh, getting a
Yeah,
bit
I
triggered
want to see
by
if
the
Mama can also.
the Marathi scientists.
Yeah.
What's your excuse for not being in STEM?
I'm a woman, so that means that we're not. I'm banned from going into STEM. You know the stuff. You're probably up to date with all that. I'm only allowed to take gender studies.
I bet that you tried to go there and someone was wearing a shirt. That's how I know.
Yeah,
It
you know
was
what?
offensive.
I was applying for university, and I was looking. I clicked on astrophysics and as it words, and I looked in it to a little bit, and I saw that all the scientists were saying "fuck women." Don't come in, and they were all wearing like really, they were wearing like shirts, and they had naked women on them, and they were saying like, "All women are good for, are barefoot and pregnant," and all that stuff. So I that's my excuse really. It's women didn't do nothing. It's the science. And don't get me started on how they don't allow animals into it. Like that's a whole different topic for a whole different day.
Speciest.
Exactly.
Speciest.
I mean,
Yes.
I tried to get into STEM, but they wouldn't choose my pronoun. I mean, I identify as a pronoun, so my pronoun is pronoun.
Yeah. Well, that is a very
I'm stealing
problematic
that.
thing.
Oh, that's an epic argument, by the way. That
God,
would be
that
an
is
epic
brilliant.
argument.
I have a
Call me
question
Z.
about.
Well, call me
I have a question
pronoun.
about- I have a question about that. Can you identify as another person, like another living person, as your
I
pronoun?
identify as Anita Sarkeesian.
And if
Oh,
you do,
well,
are you
well,
allowed to steal that person's
No, you
identity then?
can.
And if,
You can.
It's
A
called
long time
identity
ago,
theft.
there were a lot of people in mental institutions identifying as Napoleon, Queen Elizabeth I.
no. Another person who is alive.
Oh, alive.
I reckon if
Yeah, sure. Even when he was there, politicians and that. Yeah, sure.
I've got
I
I
wonder
mean,
what
I've got
would happen. Like, if you identified as that person, could you then steal that person's identity? And if the state said no, you're not allowed to steal that person's identity, is that bigotry?
Well, you know what?
That is an awesome question, eh?
I've got a Tumblr account. I reckon if I actually went with that, and use that argument, I guarantee there will be people who are saying, yes, you have the right to do that, and all that stuff.
Actually, it's an existing condition, to be honest.
Identity fraud is a sexist construct. Transphobic
Yes.
A sexist
It's
race.
not just identity fraud.
Identity fraud is a transphobic systemic problem. Or something.
Oh my god.
I know. It's sad to say that I genuinely think there's at least a few people out there who might use that or some variation of that
I
kind
would
of
not
thing.
be surprised. I would totally not be surprised.
I'm not surprised by any human behavior anymore. I'm fascinated by it, though.
Incredibly gullible.
These days, shit. I posted a tweet to the hashtag 76 genders by a lovely Milo, and it's basically said where 76 genders where they allow ill to roam free. Where they allow the mentally ill to roam free. It's basically it. Yeah. Because shit, they are equating personality traits, which sexuality is part of it, to some degree, not the biological aspects of it, but the emotional aspects of sexuality. It is a personality.
It's it's a part of the hormones.
Exactly. Yes.
Estrogen.
Right.
Is a personality. So if you feel the feels again that way, what they want, not what is actually true.
Right. I think I found the perfect name for you.
Non-binary, cis-binary, not binary, amorphic, planter, whatever the fuck those stupid fucking categories that they have, is basically a personality disorder.
You know, VJ, these all look like unknown Pokemon.
Yeah, I know.
Anybody remember that?
I'll put it up
I
there.
am looking at a list of 300 genders, non-binary genders,
Exactly.
all with their pride flag, by the way. I'm going to screen share. Why not? Let's screen share.
I've screen shared, yeah. I
For some cases, probably is like a mental disorder going on, but I think for the majority of them, like especially on Tumblr, I reckon it's just a bunch of kids who really want to, who have like really boring lives. There's nothing really going on. They're just normal people who watch a lot of things where the teenagers have special powers and they're important and they have to save the world. They see that and think, I want to be like that as well, so I'm going to invent a whole backstory for myself to make myself feel unique and special. And
personally,
sometimes, and also puberty like hitting them really hard and like.
Let's look at some of those genders because they're funny as hell. Like there's an angsty gender, a gender affected by anxiety.
Focus, Habib. Just to clarify my point, which I was making, because I absolutely accept homosexuality, and I accept transgender. Males, trans females.
I'm going to interrupt a little bit here because that's part of the problem. Because people accept homosexuality and they accept gay and lesbian and they accept transgender.
Yeah.
Now these people don't feel special enough anymore, so they make up their own stuff.
Your personality is not your gender.
Exactly. That was my point.
I accept homo and bisexuality, but not gender dysphoria.
Well, gender.
Well, I accept gender dysphoria because I know it exists. But
gender dysphoria is a thing.
It's not a positive thing to have gender dysphoria.
Well, I suppose by accept I mean be tolerant of.
Yeah.
So I am tolerant of homosexuality and bisexuality, but not gender dysphoria.
No, there's a gender called cave gender.
What?
Okay.
Having a trapped or imprisoned gender.
Cave agenda.
Just look at my screen share. I'm sharing this stuff.
I'm sharing to everyone in the.
I reckon like they just make. How do they get these flags?
Cloud gender.
Oh, cloud gender.
I said cloud gender.
Oh, yeah, cloud gender.
The ones on it. That was awesome.
When I was born in the 60s, they had an excuse. Is when they had shit acid and LSD and that. I would accept that. But now, what the fuck's the excuse of all that? It's not even an imagination.
Gender which can't be fully realized or seen clearly due to the dispersonalization, derealization disorder.
That flag is the Hogwarts LGBT.
We laugh about this and we make fun about this, but this is unfortunately a real big problem. And why do we have this real big problem? Because we have social justice warriors giving lecture on university on what certain things are. We've let things like feminism, Black Lives Matter, and shit like that run amok. And now we can't pull them back in because now we are the minority.
No, we're not.
No, we're not, Godwin. No. Well, the minority. We may be the minority of very loud, very in the forefront people, but we're certainly not the minority.
We are the silent majority.
There are less transgender people in the world than there are not. That's not the point. But the problem we're having is that people look. For example, and I'm going to go back to feminism for a second here. I know it's not nice, but people are actually defending feminism whilst feminism is shooting them in the back. And we see the same happening with these gender bullshits. We see people defending this gender bullshit while their rights are being taken away from them.
Yes.
And that's an issue. And people don't recognize this, especially not men, because men feel that they have to defend everyone. And they forget to defend themselves.
The problem is that, why they are thriving, more or less. They're not thriving. They're actually stagnating. They are starting to go be discredited. Well, the people are seeing the bullshit that they are doing. Do you know why they actually have a platform now or have something? It's because there is money.
Yeah, and that money is coming from somewhere. There are people actually
Yeah.
funding this bullshit.
Yes.
We say they're stagnating, and unfortunately, they are not. In our little clique, we all recognize the bullshit. But if you look at the normal media, the television, the radios, most people
Yes.
still don't recognize this.
No, the people do recognize it. That's why they don't trust the media now. If you see polls in every country, people are becoming more and more disenfranchised, disenchanted by their media. They are searching alternative sources, and YouTube is one of them. Twitter is another one. Social media is, and they are
All
seeing
these social medias are
shit.
being broken down as well.
Why they're trying to exactly. That's why they are trying to silence it as much as possible, because it is dangerous for them. They want to put this narrative, but people aren't stupid. The mainstream media and groups who think they can control people's mind, they are not stupid. We see it here in Europe, which is the most impacted place. The media has been covering up the migrant problems that they are causing. I've been seeing Twitter here. Sweden is almost in the point of rupture, and they're covering it up. They're giving excuses. They're not stupid. I predict that in not too far from now, in elections they have there, they will just wipe the left out of power and put an extreme right party, which is fucking wrong. It's stupid. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
But they are forcing people into that position.
I am fearful of that, because I mean, people are not listening anymore. They're just forcing it. I mean, we listen, we try to tell people what's going on, but I think we're the fringe.
Yes. But don't forget, we are still a voice. No matter how much they try to silence that spark, the spark won't go away. Even if they, it's been that for all of human history. They can't silence for example, what we do, and warn people of the dangers of the Marxist regressive left, of extreme religious groups. Extreme, not even extreme, just fundamental. Fundamentalism is not extreme. Fundamentalism is correct, is current, is the fundamentals of Islam. If it is a problem in Europe, they have governments should force them to integrate. I don't give a shit if it insults their sensibilities. If they want to come to a country, they have to follow the laws of the country. They will not get, like I go to another country, I have to follow those laws.
Yeah,
I'm not nothing
you're
special.
my guest, therefore my rules.
That
Screw
is
that.
the most racist, xenophobic thing I have ever heard.
Screw that. If I ever go to
Xenophobic,
Portugal,
Otter,
If I
I
ever go
will accept your xenophobic retort, but not the racist. Humans are not race. There are no human races. So there we have it.
we'll
There you
screw
go.
that.
Well, you know
Carlos. If I
what?
ever go to Portugal-
You know what? My answer to that, Carlos, is fuck Neanderthals.
Wow.
Awesome.
Well, all I got to
Oh, we
say is
did fuck them. We did fuck them, and they did fuck us. That's why we
Didn't
have
some
the
people
Europeans have that
eat
genes.
each other as well?
Sorry, Otter. Sorry.
Didn't they eat? Didn't when the Neanderthals like eating each other or like something like that? Sure, I heard that somewhere.
The Neanderthals
Could be wrong.
and humans did fuck a lot. That's why we have up to 4% Neanderthal DNA in European DNA. So yeah,
There you go.
which is awesome.
Hey, actually, this is something I was thinking about.
I side with Dave in the chat. Let's make Istanbul Constantinople again.
Make
too.
Istanbul
Yes,
concentrated again.
Hashtag it. I'll follow it.
But Carlos, maybe you know this. Where were the first Homo sapiens found?
The first ones, then various. The oldest fossil would be in around about the Ethiopian, the Rift Valley,
Okay.
190 something thousand years ago.
Okay.
198, if
And-
I'm not mistaken.
And there are older humanoids, obviously.
Oh yes.
If we look at the oldest humanoid, for example, in Europe, I forgot his.
Homo erectus.
Yeah.
Homo erectus, 1.1 million.
And Homo erectus,
6 million years.
and Homo erectus and Homo sapiens could interbreed, right?
Oh,
They could.
Homo erectus had
No,
evolved
no.
into other our most direct ancestor that gave rise to the three real human races: Homo sapiens sapiens, Homo sapiens neanderthalensis, Homo sapiens. It's still not settled. It's Denisovians, and there's another fourth one that they've discovered in the Melanesian Polynesian genetic.
The hobbits.
That's different. That's different. That's a dead end type species. That happens a lot in there. They were the three races of humans that lived more or less together for enough time for them to interbreed, interact, and so on.
I thought it was. No, sorry, I'll let you finish.
They were the Homo heidelbergensis, which is our possibly and most likely almost. I can't use consensus because they're trying to discredit that word consensus. The peer-reviewed evidence of our direct ancestor, we evolved from Homo heidelbergensis. So yeah.
And where did Homo heidelbergensis came from?
Africa. All humanoids, all humans, all hominids came from Africa.
A lot of homos.
Well, it does mean human in Latin, so yeah.
Obviously
I
not,
know.
because there was quite a bit of evolutionary forwardness going on. So obviously not a lot of homos.
No, yeah. Oh, it is debatable because all primates follow they still follow a pattern. They still follow a behavior, and homosexuality in primates is not uncommon.
No, that's true.
Homosexuality
Yeah.
isn't uncommon in any living organism, to be honest.
No,
Well, there are more
it's
ones that are
it's a common-
expressed
it's a
more than
common
others.
thing in
Yeah.
mammals. It's a common thing in mammals that gestate within a womb.
Yeah, it's more common in some mammals, the species, families than others. Yeah, like the primates, they're quite, to a certain extent, a little slightly more expressed than others because primates are very.
It's even been documented with birds.
Oh yeah, and sheep even.
Oh, I didn't know
Cows.
that. Birds.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
But
the Dutch biologist that got the Ig Nobel Prize for documenting homosexuality, necrophilic homosexuality, even with ducks.
I
Yeah,
think
ducks are
that
bigots.
may be chalked up to mental disorder, actually.
No,
no, penguins. Some penguins practice homosexuality. Some species
I'm
of the
not
penguins,
clicking on
like
that link, Gordius. I'm not going to do it.
But which Dutch biologist was that? I've got an image in my head, but I can't put a name to it. I think he made quite a lot of programs, Dutch TV shows back in the day, didn't he? Or was that someone else?
I don't know.
I'm
Dutch
sorry.
TV. I'm sorry, mate.
No,
I
I can't remember the name.
I only see one Dutch person in television. His name's Rudolph. He's a cook or a pastry maker. I catch him on one of the cooking channels I get. I love that guy. He's fucking awesome. I've followed a lot of his recipes, just so you know.
I'm curious who. I've got. That was me.
But the bonobo chimpanzees, which are probably the closest living relatives to us, up to 96.
Bonobos and chimpanzees are equally related to us.
The chimpanzees 92 to 95, bonobos 94 to 97% genetic closeness to us. Yeah, exactly. Yes, but they are different. Basically, behavioral differences between them. Where the chimpanzees are more aggressive, and they even actually hunt. The bonobos are more pacific, more they settle conflicts using sex. Basically that.
Yes. Actually, yeah. That's
More
that.
like them instead of like the other chimpanzees in behavior.
Very
Sex
odd.
can no, tell you, sex can resolve a lot of conflicts.
It causes quite a few as well, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, but honestly speaking,
Yeah, but if you cause them,
how many feminists
But-
would still be feminists if they got that vitamin D? I mean, honestly.
I mean, how
Mm.
easy would it be? They must have not very many threats, the bonobos, because how easy would it be for a threat to overtake them? Like, for example, how easy would it be for them to be conquered by um, the other race of chimpanzees?
well, it's not
The other
actually a race.
species. Alright.
No, as they live separately in different areas of Africa,
Okay.
they wouldn't, even if they did come in contact, because the chimpanzees would have recognized them as. Now, this is on my part complete conjecture. I'm using all of my what I've studied and what I've read, all the information I have in my head to conjecture on what would happen. I do that a lot, even with human Homo sapiens sapiens, Homo sapiens neanderthalensis contact, how they would react if they met. It wouldn't be that. Probably wouldn't be violent in the sense of what humans do, because they are too big to be hunted for food. They would slightly ignore them, as the chimpanzees do to the gorillas, etc. The chimpanzees hunt basically the capuchin and the smaller monkeys as food. It's a known
Right.
fact. Yeah, but the bonobos, no, they're just too big. They wouldn't risk, because the bonobos within their society, and I use this as a correct term because they do have culture, as the chimpanzees also have culture within their
Yes.
society. Within their society they are peaceful, but they do defend themselves from outside threats.
All right.
So
Yeah, but that's not that weird though, because the whole in-group, out-group mentality that humans have are seen in all sorts of primates. Every group of primates shows in-group, out-group mentality.
yes,
It's a
absolutely.
very
Yes,
good,
we are
very
primates.
good survival trait. It's useful.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I
Not-
lost.
not just primates,
Gained
but
one
you
viewer.
see
I
them-
lost one viewer. We were talking about that. Fucking awesome.
Yeah, one of my favorite stories about pre-Columbian America was the origin of the Mayan Empire. Uh, the reason that they became so powerful was because in the earliest days, what happened was they attempted a tribal alliance through marriage, which is a custom amongst a lot of human cultures, and
Mhm.
through the language barrier, they didn't really. The tribes didn't really understand exactly what was going on. So, a chief from another tribe married his daughter into the Mayan royal family, and they viewed this as a gift. And I don't know how many people know what Mayans did with with human gifts, but let's just say that the next time that father saw his daughter, her skin was being worn by the man she married in some crazy ritual. So of course yeah, so of course the father was rather upset and decided to make war with the Mayans and exterminate them. And they had to flee the lands they were living in, and they ended up in a swampy marsh. And because of their ingenuity in that swampy marsh, they were able to take the things they learned from living there and expand out into a great empire. But the reason this is relevant is there is an evolutionary basis for this in-group, out-group mentality.
Yeah.
because
No,
a
no,
lot of
Marty,
times when you
Marty,
meet a new
you don't
group, they'll kill
don't
you.
understand, Marty. You don't understand. The Indians were peaceful, and they were a peaceful people, and for thousands of years, in fact, until the Europeans came in and destroyed all that.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. People don't understand the word peace anymore. Peace doesn't mean that they're safe. Peace means there's a piece over here, there's a piece over there. Oh, and
Oh, I love that, Mudwing.
There's a huge myth about the noble savage, and that
I hate it. I hate
yes,
it.
of course, and that they didn't practice.
It comes from Rousseau, by the way.
Yes, it does exactly, absolutely. Humans have always had conflict with each other, and not just humans, but primates. We are primates, so we follow the same basic biological and behavioral. The most basic. I'm talking about the most basic, instinctive behavioral patterns. Okay, so now during the percent of our species history and our ancestors' species history, there were just so few people on Earth that conflict between each other was basically non-existent. There was conflict. There were quote battles unquote, but these quote battles unquote were interpersonal, or up to 2 maximum people, 2, 3, 4 people.
So they didn't engage
There just wasn't enough
warfare, per se?
Yeah, what you can say warfare, but it wasn't warfare. It was just interpersonal, 2 or 3 people fighting some whatever reason they did fight, and one got killed or whatever. Now, with agriculture, which I hope everyone knows, I hate agriculture. It led to everything wrong with us.
But it also led to everything
firstly,
right.
No, I don't think. I don't really see any advantage.
Is that your actual belief, Castrillo? Carlos?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I reckon.
I think we found a
even
topic.
though I'm fucking using a computer, I'm talking to you through the most marvelous technology you can think of. To me, it still doesn't outweigh the benefits. Don't outweigh the what's that word?
Cost.
You know, given
the bad things about it.
given the human
The
brain,
cost, yeah.
civilization is inevitable.
No,
And-
not necessarily.
It's
Because until 1750, 1760s, there were still isolated tribes which had no civilization, and
well,
both
obviously
agricultural
some humans would be
tribes.
better off, and there are environmental factors as well. But given the proper environmental factors, given the proper stimuli,
But
civilization is
it's
inevitable.
not inevitable with humans. It's actually quite an exceptional thing, because if you look at it closely, there have only been a very restrictive areas of where civilization actually emerged, and civilization. Let me see if I still have it here. What it does entail? It's quite a thing. You need. Right, people living in urban areas, not scattered tribes in small villages. You need a big urban area. You need a symbolic economic system. Entails either whatever you want to do, communism, capitalism, doesn't matter. It's symbolic. We trade centralized economic resources. Someone controls the economy. Shit, I'm forgetting my brain.
I'm
Oh,
curious
God.
as to what the benefits are. I mean, you think we had some benefit without agriculture that you think we've lost. What is that benefit?
Longevity, with which we only just reinvented after the Industrial Revolution. for example.
Longevity.
Yeah, once we figured out how to be clean
Yes.
with our dirt, we started
No.
living longer.
we had better. For example, a hunter-gatherer had much more time on his hands for whatever, for everything. Especially the early agriculturals, had very little time because they had to tend the fields from dawn to dusk.
I think you're drunk.
I am, but I'm still very coherent. I know what I'm talking about.
I know,
To
it
me.
sounds very odd coming from you. I'm sorry.
What?
No, I've heard this rant before, so yeah, it's his actual opinion.
Okay. It just sounds
It's,
very odd.
No, my opinion is shit. It's
Yes, your opinion
it
is
can
shit.
be contradictory.
You just said it.
It is, yeah. No, it is contradictory to what I love technology. You guys know. I'll say it now. I absolutely love technology, but
So
as an archaeologist,
I'm just
I've
curious.
seen.
Is it leisure that you think that we've lost? I mean, what?
No. We've lost a lot of things, and we've picked up bad habits. Shit, if you can break it down to the lowest common denominator, because of agriculture, we have SJWs and feminism. Because in a hunter-gatherer society, they would instinctively known that they were equal, because a family works together to survive.
That was known as far back. That was known 50 years ago.
Yep. But the main problem is that our Western society has had a long bout of peace. And humans can't deal well with peace. So they will start making up enemies.
That's true. That's very true.
Again, something that agriculture brought about.
True.
I mean, I don't know how long you've been here, Modwayne, but
No, I just came back again.
Castreggio is arguing the benefits of living in a society, a pre-agricultural society.
No, it doesn't matter whether it's pre-agricultural or not. You need people to both have a reason to exist, so be busy, and at the same time they need to recognize their position and the position of others.
But it is basically pre-agriculture.
I'm not sure if I would say it's pre-agriculture. I mean, yes, it could be done pre-agriculture. Why? Because positions are clearer in pre-agricultural societies. But at the same time, it doesn't have to be pre-agriculture. I mean, if you look at every culture, for example, in the West, after a major war.
But that's a problem. You have wars because of agriculture.
No, you don't have wars because of agriculture. You have wars because of resources. Agriculture just being one of the ways to get resources. In this case, food.
Yes, but food in the pre-agricultural societies that existed prior to the agricultural revolution, about 10 to 9,000 years back. Before the current era, they did not have those problems of fighting because of resources. They had the resources. They didn't need to fight over them.
No.
Did another tribe have more resources than them?
But they weren't tribes.
That's the facilitation of warfare.
Yes.
No, they did not have tribes.
Tribes
arose with
tribes.
agriculture.
They just didn't call it tribes.
No, you had groups living together pre-agriculture. Of course,
every family,
extended families. Extended families.
Yeah, as I said, every family can be called a tribe.
To the most basic, yes, I'll accept that. Yes.
A tribe is simply a group of people larger than. Who living together, who are that's larger than a certain number. I don't know what the number is exactly, but I would say 10 counts as a tribe.
Yeah, that's arbitrary though. So
that's an extended family, yes.
But the thing is that the greed that people have, and this is the thing that modern society is trying to get rid of. Unfortunately, they're doing so by promoting greed in the top echelons. But the greed is part of the reason why you have so much infighting, why you still need the in-group, out-group mentality that people portray.
For us, for
I
civilization.
feel like it's as if you're perpetuating the concept of the noble savage, aren't you?
No, they weren't noble. They were not noble. They practiced cannibalism. They
There's nothing
did
noble
fight
about it.
into personal fights. They were, for fuck's sake. There's a theory in Australia, because they found two different types of in two areas that they have excavated, Lake Mungo in New South Wales and Kilo. No, it's Kilo. I can't remember now. The later Aborigines, the skulls that they found were thicker, and they've than the earlier ones, which were thinner. They were more gracile and so on. They thought that they got the thicker skulls because they were being bashed over the heads with them. It's just the males that had that characteristic. That's fighting. Now, if you go on to Papua New Guinea, which is just across a small portion of ocean, they have agriculture there since at least 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago. And they have actual organized warfares, raiding parties, slavery, gender roles in hunter-gatherer societies, and
It's definitely true that agriculture leads ultimately to greater organization and cohesion.
Well, it also
not necessarily.
yeah, no,
Again,
it does. It does. The other thing it does also increase is greed, because you don't have people buying or gathering their supplies to survive. You get people stockpiling, and by stockpiling, they create, well, wealth in all simpleness.
I think that greed begins with private property, and private property didn't begin
No,
with agriculture. It began with burial of the dead, which
no,
Homo
it began with
heidelbergensis-
agriculture. Actually, it began with agriculture.
yeah.
No, it began with
The first-
it began when the Homo heidelbergensis began burying their dead.
No,
And-
no, 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 no. Oh, no,
Concept
no.
of sacred burial grounds. That's how
No,
private property.
No, there were not. There weren't sacred burial grounds with Homo heidelbergensis or even Neanderthals. They buried them with caves, generations after generations, etc. No.
And they could get buried with their tools, but in all fairness, those tools were easily made. Everyone could have a tool. A tool
they
would not
covered-
be a reason to steal.
Some of the burials, they added ochre and some flowers just to ceremonial, but no, there was no private property there. Private property is purely agricultural. You have a field of wheat. You have to protect that field of wheat because it's your only source of food. If you lost the ability to hunt, which we reached when the first major urban centers emerged. I'm not even talking about cities; they were just large urban centers, which led to specializations of labor and etc.
I want to respond to Crazy Cat, because in chat he's saying, did someone forget that the gathering part is also important? And I mean, the gathering part surely is greed, a byproduct of that. And in a way, you could say that, but at the same time, gatherers could never gather enough.
Did you know that? Do you guys know who gathered and who hunted?
On average, the hunters were done by men and gathering was done by women.
Yes.
Accepted, and when women accompanied the men, you guys are thinking of modern hunter-gatherers, but in past hunter-gatherers, all of
them went
hunted, and all the people gathered.
Yeah, because
the Neanderthals were more egalitarian, and I think that's part of the reason why they eventually lost the.
All Homo sapiens did that. No, they didn't lose. They didn't lose. Early Homo sapiens, or the Homo sapiens before agriculture became the dominant economic thing.
Well, obviously,
that
if you don't use your women to hunt, your survival prospects as a tribe are going to be larger.
No, actually, that's not
No,
true.
you know, it's less.
What
Shit. If you want to bring down a mammoth,
is
you need all the people in the tribe to contribute.
yeah,
A mammoth is not fucking a cow. A mammoth needs a lot of humans to hunt it down. It's
I don't know.
big-
A
big beast.
sufficient. Never mind.
and another thing is you wanted to keep the community together. You didn't go back to your house. There wasn't a house. I mean, this is how do you call it? I forgot the name, but roaming tribes and roaming families got started. It got a name. I forgot the name. Because you,
I know. I just can't think of it now. I just can't get it out. But I know what I mean.
yeah, it's like the Cossacks were in Russia.
Nomads.
Nomads, thank you. In the beginning, nearly everyone was nomad in a certain area. You didn't go back home because you didn't really have a home to go back to.
No, you did. You had.
Well,
your
you had
home.
shelters, you had caves, and
You had
eventually
shelters,
had camps.
not singular.
Well, eventually you had camps. Eventually,
Again, plural, not singular.
You had camps. You had a camp, okay?
No,
you have a tribe in a camp. You set up a camp in, for example, in early spring.
The whole
Early
concept
spring.
of camps was way later. In the beginning, they were
No, it's
moving
early.
around.
They still doesn't matter. It's even with the caves work temporary shelters.
Yes, temporary being the word, though.
Yes, all human for 90% until agriculture was invented, until we became fixed, sedentary.
Until that time, we were nomads.
Yeah, we were nomads, so we had camps. A camp. They put a camp up, and they exploited the resources within an area. In a
And then
site
move on.
catchment area, we do site catchment analysis, which we have calculated. Archaeologists and anthropologists have calculated that if you put the center of the camp and you draw a line 2 kilometers to the left and you make a circle all the way around, that was the site catchment analysis of that camp, where they exploit all the resources within that area. Finish that off, they'd move 2 kilometers away, so we wouldn't intersect back. That's 2 kilometers is an average number, because depending on the of the landscape that they were exploiting, if mountains would be closer, wouldn't be 2 kilometers, could be 500 meters. Savannas could be up to 5 kilometers.
Yeah.
It's how long it takes someone to walk in an hour or two to get to the farthest point, etc.
And then within that area, they would hunt and they would gather.
No, they would gather in that area, that whole area, more or less. They'd hunt the animals that were there. They'd pick up the plants and other food stuff that were there, and after they more or less exhausted that area, they'd move on. Not the animals, because the animals obviously move, but the more the plant moves. The plants were one of the reasons why they did have a nomadic society, because they use up all the plant material.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at the chat. One of my favorite fans just joined, but never mind. That's how it was. The environment was exploited by all hominids. Human, us, Homo sapiens sapiens, Homo sapiens neanderthalensis, Heidelbergensis before that, our ancestor, Homo habilis even before that, Australopithecines, for example, Lucy, Nayaldi, which is even older than Lucy. It goes back to all how primates use their land. They gather and hunt. Some hunt and some don't, but that's how it is.
True. But with agriculture, actual greed set in, because then there were supplies to store together. Not even at the beginning, because it took a little longer. And I mean, until that time, people would, for example, war about roaming rights, so to speak. But when one group turns into domesticated and farmland, etc., etc., and the other group is still nomadic, then you have already more clashes.
Possibly, yeah, I accept that because the first humans that were the first, can call them agriculturists, were basically nomads. Nomads were pastoralists. They domesticated. Well, the first animal that they domesticated was the goats and sheep. That's fact. Cattle came later, but of course they had to move around in an area, and at the same time they were harvesting grains to an extent that they hadn't settled down yet. That came slightly later, around the 8,000 BCE. Jericho is where they had already settled down. That's 8,000 BC. Yeah, about that area, that time.
So you would exhibit what would be called primitivism.
Oh yeah, they were primitive. They were basically pastoralists, and they did.
I mean, your own personal views.
No. My personal views. I would love. I find all the problems that agriculture brought on, but no, I'm not a fanatic on that. I accept my. In fact, I fucking love our society. I know it's going to the shits because some people have a regressive mind, and they don't know. They're just trying to fuck up everything. But I'm not a fundamentalist, or I'm not even. I see the problems that agriculture brought, but it's what our society is, basically. So yeah.
We could kill all farmers.
No.
Well, in all fairness, I mean, it is part of the reasons why greed got into our society and why we became more protective of the land or the area we live in. But at the same time, it also started everything we have today. Without farmlands, we would not have modern societies.
I think what Carlos is doing is making a cost-benefit analysis, and he places subjective value on
Well,
the
apparently,
positives,
I think
of modern society and the positives of primitive society.
to be honest, I think he puts way more thought into this than all of us combined. So that's why I'm being quiet here, because
No, I don't think he has actually.
Well, I've heard him talk about this quite a few times.
I have, and it's not basically cost-benefit analysis. I've done cost-benefits analysis, and still, pre-agricultural societies come up trumps. So it is for me slightly difficult to explain, even after drinking enough of the beer and whiskey that I've drunk. But I'm still coherent enough to try it. I've done when I was at university. I have done many site catchment analysis for many of the projects which I had to do, many of the essays and many of the works I had to do, and I've been developing this. I won't publish it, of course not, because I can't. It's there. If you read enough of the specialized literature, you will find conclusions which are quite close to what I think of my what we're talking about now. We know it was especially prevalent until basically the first cities appeared. Jericho, the first the Syrian cities, Babylonian cities, etc.
I think Damascus is the oldest city.
No, Damascus is the oldest capital.
Okay.
Capital, not the oldest city.
Then I'm
yeah.
That's fine.
And they have found that before that, our species were always on the brink of not the hunter-gatherers, which were still widespread, but the agriculturalists were still on the knife edge. They were so dependent on good seasons, on etc. That's why they built fortifications. That's why they protected their fields, etc. And that's why they developed pottery. Pottery was the probably the most important development, which the agricultural societies could get, because it permitted them to store. And you were right about that thing before. They permitted for the first time in human existence to store excess food, and that would later lead to the development of cities, etc. Because if you can control the stores, you are basically controlling people. That's when hierarchical differentiation within the society also emerged. And it's all those things lead to every time you to development of new technology, development, which by the way was always been pushed forward. I think by warfare, of course. Conflict is the best generator of technology. So it's always been like that. The metals were a direct result of some form of conflict to defend the economy. The first metals were basically trinkets, status symbols. Bronze Age axes were not used for anything other than. That's why you can find in the Western Europe, and not from the Middle East to the Western Europe, hordes of Bronze Age axes stored. That was the first economic collapse, by the way. The Bronze Age, the end of the Bronze Age, more or less, because they had just produced an excess of Bronze Age implements that nobody wanted them anymore. They became useless. They would bury them, whole tonnage of them, tons of Bronze Age axes. Environmental factors also led to the collapse of the Bronze Age, which later arose to the later periods of classical Greece, for example, classical civilizations, Greece, Egypt. It got rid of the Hittites, the Assyrians, which were the Minoans, Assyrians, the Assyrians, the Phoenicians. That period, well, the Phoenicians were created by the Bronze Age collapse, by the way. They were the sea people, which became the Phoenicians, etc., which were later Carthage at that.
Yeah,
So,
that's around 1150 BCE.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's all tied into agriculture. You wouldn't have those sort of developments, obviously, without agriculture. It does lead to a higher level of society, of social stratification, etc. I don't say it's a bad thing in itself, but I also say it's the prehistoric, the hunter-gatherers were not what they have been portrayed, and they are still being portrayed as not very smart or whatever. They had more leisure than we now. We now have more leisure, as much leisure as they had. You kill a bison, you have meat for 3 or 4 days. You kill in that time two mammoths, you throw them off a cliff, you dry the meat. You had meat for a month or two.
Based on my own subjective view, modern leisure is superior to primitive leisure.
I don't know.
Video games, my friend. Video games.
Oh, absolutely.
Argument.
Subjectively, yes, absolutely. You have my complete concurrency. Yes.
I have a difficult time seeing your argument. I apologize. I mean, I have a difficult time. Well, I see your argument, but I have a difficult time coming to the same conclusion that you do. from that argument.
If you you need to study it in depth. Shit, I can't say to a physicist. For example, I know some physics. I don't know the maths, but for example, I'm giving an example. It's anecdotal at best. They would study more and they would know more things than me, for example. So I studied archaeology since 1988, and I've kept up. I've seen. I can see from everything, all the research, all the reading. I think I can see. I can do a film in my mind. Now because it's been pushed back to to Neolithic man, about 6 million years ago, to now, I could see almost like a film as it developed, and even within that, their behavior, how they gathered, how they scavenged, how a pack of lions would kill an animal, then they'd go away.
Would kill a
Then
cock. That sounds nice.
You know what I mean? Kill a wildebeest, for example, or an elephant or some other animal. They'd leave scraps. These little, they weren't big. These hominins would come in. They'd grab a stone and break a bone and eat the marrow of what was left there.
Why don't you make a documentary about it?
That's been done. You just have to search YouTube. It's been done.
No, I want you to make one.
He does have a good.
No,
Yes,
I don't have the talent. I don't have the talent.
What do you need to get that documentary done?
Yes, we can pool resources, man. We got you.
No, it's been done.
When you need
I
video
would only
editing, I
be.
can edit the videos for you. You need intros.
I'm
We have
only
more than enough
rehashing-
people to make intros and animations.
I know it's been done. I'm just rehashing everything that's
So
already been
what?
done.
I mean, most of I bet this very conversation has been done before, and yet we are here having it.
Carlos, I'm going to say this and I'm going to mean it. So I hope you take good care. of what
Please,
say.
I can't.
I work as a sociotherapist for let's say 16 years. The main thing I pride myself on is that I have never, ever said something to one of my kids or one of the people I try to help that they have never heard before. The only difference is that when I tell it to them, it might finally click. So the question is not, has it been said before? The question is not who was the first one to say it. The question is who was the last one that you listened to. And I can see you being one of those people, to be honest. I mean, you're really good in telling your tales.
I am passionate. I know you guys know that I am passionate, and I love archaeology. I breathe it. I think about it every day. I think about bits of it during every day because I also think about other stuff. And yes, but for example,
The Adventures of Carlos. It'd be like
I know my limitations. I can talk. I can do this here with you guys if I have someone to talk to. But if you say make a video, I struggle. I'm still working on.
Well, okay.
I'm still working on.
So maybe that's then what we should do.
Hold on, Carlos. By the way, most people can't write for shit anyway. Most people who have their, let's say, their journals or their life stories published, they would hire someone to write it for them. That's quite normal, and that person would just hang out with them for months just to document their story before they die, and they just like publish it later. It's like, hey,
No, I know that. Yeah.
So yes, there is no shame of saying that. Yeah, I can't put it in a video. It's fine. That's why I'm saying that. What do you need? Do you need someone to help you, let's say, script it? Then yeah, I can do that. If you need someone to edit the videos, then I can help with that. We can ask Robin to help with that. If you need animations, I guess we have more than enough people to make the animations. Why not? We could do it.
No, I know we can. Shit, I know we can. I could, if I asked. I think I have enough friends. If I asked, I could do that. But I don't know, man. I'm actually afraid. This is just me. I know my intelligence. I know my capabilities, but I also know my weaknesses. And my weaknesses, I think, for me, that cannot overcome my strengths, and I don't want to say something that'll discredit archaeology at all. No, I would refuse to do something if I myself for a start. And it's
Do
a
you think
weakness
we
and a strength for me, because
okay? Do you think we can get another one or two archaeologists to put in their opinion as well,
oh god,
and
yes.
and to have like, let's say like most documentaries that would discuss a certain topic like this, like the negative effects of agriculture, and we would have like a couple of people, and they would just you would have your own piece, they would have their own piece, and it wouldn't really feed the conclusion that you have to the audience. The audience will have to reach their conclusions on their own.
Oh, I don't do conclusions. I just present facts.
There you go.
As objective. If you've seen both my videos and my channel, I've never expressed my opinion. I may, but if I do, like I said, I've already given my opinion on a few things here. I will say it is my opinion, and it's not based in fact. I can't present evidence. If I can't present evidence, I can't. I don't feel. God, this is so uncomfortable for me, man. I know, I understand you guys. I fucking love you for that, but yeah, it's overwhelming for me.
I don't see it as overwhelming or anything. It's just
No, but
your presentation here is interesting, and even though maybe I share the opinion of the rest of the panel here, that I find it a little bit too much to accept. Like, yeah, actually agriculture had a negative impact rather than a positive one in the grand scheme of things. I find it a little bit hard to digest that, but I think it would be better presented as a longer documentary rather than a rant on a stream.
I agree with Habib
well,
on that one.
yeah, I do rant here. I'm passionate. I know I rant, but God, I want Habib. I want your honest. How did I perform yesterday
Oh, you did great.
on the culture?
Oh, you did great. You did pretty
What
great.
is culture?
I had to like when I went to bed
I meant
eventually,
it.
I was still
Of course.
listening to some of the stuff that you said, and I was just turning it on in my mind. Like, my understanding of what culture and civilization is have shifted a little bit, and I was like, okay, maybe there is a difference between what a community is and what a culture is, because for me those two words were kind of interchangeable. And I know that I didn't bring it up last night because I didn't really think about it until later on, but the concept of what a community and a culture were interchangeable, but then I kind of realized maybe they are not. So where does one start and where does the other one end, or something like that? But it left me with a lot to think about, which I hope that it did the same for the audience of the stream. And that's all that's all I wanted, really, to start this discussion. It was pretty good. We had very different opinions about what culture is and what appropriation is and what civilizations are. And it's pretty good. I loved it. So yeah, you did great. And I don't know why, but your chat, even though they hate everyone in here except for me, they're sucking up to me. I kind of like it. Yeah, being an ex-Muslim from Saudi, I guess it has its privileges.
deeper community.
I think you dropped out. You're going robot-y.
Okay. I thought that was me.
Yeah, I thought that was me too because I'm behind a VPN. I was like, is my VPN fucking up? So yeah. You're roboting. You're breaking up pretty bad.
Carlos, don't go into the light.
Go towards the darkness, mate. Go towards the darkness.
Just
They've
F5.
got cookies and milk.
F5. Refresh.
Won't that kill the stream though?
No.
No. If we have a few mods in here, it won't kill the stream. It'll still go live. It'll still be live.
As long as there's one person in the Hangout, the stream will keep on going. And there's a maximum of 8 hours to stream, I think. Or 7 hours. Well, something like that.
It's 8 hours.
8 hours.
But where'd my lighter go?
Well, technically, the Hangout can keep on going quite long. Not live, but I think, me and Talk, we had over 12 hours clocked. And he did another one recently. He's pretty much the record holder. I think that went into 15 hours or so. That's with the Hangout itself, live Hangout, and the after party of the after chat, so to say.
Yeah, the off-air hangout can last forever, but when you go live, I think it's got a limit of 8 hours.
Yeah, 8 hours, yeah.
Sound much better now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it must have been Twitter. They didn't like my regressive or progressive or right wings.
Yeah.
Channel.
So just sleep on it. Think about the whole documentary thing, and if you decide to do it, just let me know.
And if there's anything we can help you with, mate, and I know that most of the help we can give you is either production or, I don't know, like me. I can help you by saying how good you are.
No, I mean it would be it's not going to be an easy project to do. First of all, you would have your thesis, and then someone would have to script that thesis into something that is presentable to people. And before that, you need to have it fact checked. So someone has to go through the papers and through all the scientific findings, because again, you've been studying this for quite a while, since the late 80s. So some of your information might be a little bit outdated. So yeah, you need to research that. And then after that, the scripting, and you would have some voiceovers, which you would have to record, doing some animation, and then, I don't know, some maybe intro music or something like that. I don't know. It's going to be a long project. It's not going to be easy.
Jeez.
Ooh, you're breaking up, mate. We can barely hear you now.
Yeah, you're breaking up again. Oh God, yeah, he's having trouble today.
I can only help you by giving you, coaching and feel good motivation stuff. I mean, my video editing skills are, they're not bad, but they're not all there. I mean, if you look at stuff from Habib, or if you look at stuff from St. Clair, just two people here.
No, I don't edit my videos. I just do streams, but I do it for work. So whenever I open Adobe Premiere or Sony Vegas, I just think, oh God, this is work.
All right, so your accent made it sound like whenever I open a doobie, which I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but that's American slang for a joint or a marijuana cigarette. So
I wish I could open one of those, but
yeah, he meant Adobe, I guess.
Isn't it Adobe?
As he continued on with the sentence,
it's Adobe.
Yeah. As he continued on with the sentence, I realized it was Adobe, but for the first half of that sentence, I was like, Habib smokes pot? What?
Well, yes, I do. I mean, my excuse is that I'm an artist, so yeah, I gotta have my inspirations every now and then.
I mean, I'm an artist too, and I don't consume anything that's stronger than caffeine.
Yeah, I'm a piece of shit, so I don't care.
I mean, I'm not a Muslim, but their views on drugs are I kind of agree with them.
I have back when I was in Saudi, I had access to every single drug ever, and I had that period of my life where I was quite curious about trying every single thing I could put my hands on.
I assume the black market is strong in Saudi.
Oh yes, and yeah, I mean, I had access to booze.
Or I
over
guess
there,
I suppose I should say the black bazaar.
well, I just know a guy, and I'd
I thought
call
that
him,
was
he'd
funny.
just provide me with anything. It's funny, like my last visit to Saudi, the first person I called was my dealer, like at the airport, and he's like, "Hey, you're back in town." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just at the airport. Come pick me up." And what do you got for me? It's like, "You seriously want me to pick you up from the airport?" I'm like, "Yep." Come pick me up. So yeah, I was picked up by my dealer.
That's the thing, though. When you look at theocracies throughout history, and especially in the modern world, I mean Saudi Arabia, but even Afghanistan, when it was still completely controlled by the Taliban. Okay, officially it's very illegal, and they crack down on it hard, but you can get anything you want.
Yeah, I
Usually
remember
then
he
it
got
was
me. He got me
just
this patch of Persian hash, and it was beautiful. The most magnificent thing that I've ever smoked.
Well, the only thing I say, and this goes for every drug you can use, including alcohol, just realize what you're doing, and for the rest of it,
Yeah, I mean,
Up to you.
just be responsible. Know what
Yeah.
you're doing.
know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Treat it with respect.
So you can hear me.
Yes.
I think we can.
Yes, I think we're going to have to.
And you're gone again.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're having connection problems, and I think what he wanted to say is that we need to wrap it up. I guess.
That's Carlos's way of saying, "Yeah, get the hell out of here."
Well,
Yeah, he's too nice to kick us out.
I'm still working for another 7 hours. So.
Yeah, I guess after this, I'm going to just
Uh,
launch Elite Dangerous and stop playing.
All right,
some
I'm gonna
Ah,
head out. I'm
still-
gonna head out now.
I
I'll,
still have to get that upgrade.
I've got some things to do.
Before you go, Saint Clair, can I have a small talk after the chat?
Oh,
about-
okay, sure. I'll stay for a while then.
Because of tomorrow, because you and Cheshire both said you wanted to try and run tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll stay.
So yeah, just a few
Weird.
seconds. Sorry,
Excuse me.
I thought someone still said something.
Yeah, Carlos, whatever you want to say, just type it in the chat, and I'm gonna tell it to people who are listening because we can't hear you again.
Oh, he
And-
cloned himself.
Oh no,
And
we
we
have
have
to
a
hear him
gunny.
now.
We have a gunny.
A wild gunny appears.
A wild gunny.
I will not be defeated. I'm going to smile.
break up badly.
Oh my god.
What the fuck, you rubbing two Portuguese rocks together over there for internet or what?
Hey, by the way, Gunny, what do you think of the picture I made for you, mate? Because I never heard.
It's good, except for whenever somebody
because this is-
like when somebody DMs me on Twitter, I can't for some reason I can't load the picture from Twitter to my, to save it to use it. So it's got to be emailed.
Okay, well, help remind me then, because I don't have it with me on work.
Yeah. No, I'll send. Who's fixing? Is that a Habib? No. Who's?
No, I'm fixing
whatever the
something.
fuck-
I'm taking something apart. It's not fixing.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a story behind it.
I was just-
A short one this time. But I'm on a freebies page on Facebook, a local one. And in the last week, I picked up 3 of these called Sky HD boxes. And they have hard drives in them. And I want to take one apart. Just for the fun of it.
I was just making sure it wasn't Habib building something.
Why? Okay. Well,
I'm not making clocks here.
Why is it? Why would it be worrying if I were building something?
It's the Saudi
So,
Arabia
is this
connection.
a computer building stream or what?
I mean, I know that we Arizona don't really build anything; we just destroy stuff.
Yeah. So whereabouts in Saudi Arabia are you from?
I lived most of my life in Khobar. That's a city in the east
Yeah, I
coast.
know what that is.
I'm sorry. Is
I
that? Did you say the city of Fubar?
Khobar was it? Okay.
Bar. Yeah.
Okay.
Not Fubar.
If it was Fubar, I would have been enchanted.
So
Where
what
you
was this?
from?
What was this?
Yeah,
Sorry, what?
I was born and raised in Fubar. Oh, so why did you leave?
Yeah, because seriously, like if you're gonna talk about like town names and you're from the US, you're the last one to talk.
Hey, man, I grew up in Sunnyvale. What? There were no Hellmouths. There was no Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So, you know, it was a very hey, man, top 10 safest city in the U.S. according to the FBI. One of the few cities in the
safest,
United
so it's like one school shooting a year.
Guys, can you,
No, it was like no school shootings in the 30 years I lived, well, 20 odd years I lived there.
How about back in Saudi? We never had any.
people, can you hear me?
Yep.
Sure.
you can-
Can hear you.
Good.
Yes.
Okay. We'll end this here because before I break up again. Thank you guys for
Yeah, sure.
watching,
Get in here.
for being here. Thank guys. We'll have a 15th after stream party.
Yeah,
And I have to go to bed 'cause
everybody
tomorrow
who's
I work.
watching, subscribe to me. I'm going to start doing videos about philosophy soon, and I need to finish up my slavery series, which I'm having fun with still. I need to get back into that.
Yeah, do Brazil now. How we the Portuguese introduced civilization to Brazil.
I have no interest in Brazil.
If you're talking
You
about
made it to
slavery,
one, yeah.
better.
It's just such a shame that that whole civilization thing in Brazil didn't stick.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just
given
fucking.
that 5 times as
good
many
for
slaves
football and
were imported
and,
from sub-Saharan Africa to Brazil as to the United States. Kind of hard
Yeah,
to see
that's-
why.
Yeah, but I just didn't like. I just didn't like the fact that the Olympics you had body parts in with the fucking aquatic events. That's all. You know, the odd head floating by. Yeah.
Lord.
Well, it's true.
Okay, I just found you this. If you're interested in some of the town names in the U.S.
What?
I'll look that up. Yeah, that would.
Oh, there's
he's
lots
there.
of goofy fucking names of.
I mean, they've got a town called Gaylordsville.
There's also a town called Mudbutt, South Dakota. Well, it's pronounced Butte, but it's spelled Mudbutt, and I'm not kidding.
Yes, I know.
I mean, there's a town in Kentucky called
Nice.
Kippo.
Funny always.
There's actually a city. It's somewhere in the Mojave. It's called Burnt Biscuit.
That is the best name ever. Almost as well, actually, no. I still give it to Mudbutt, but it's definitely the new second. I thoroughly enjoy Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, though. That's certainly an interesting town name, and the history is actually pretty cool too. They actually won a contest by changing their town's name to Truth or Consequences.
So what's this documentary you're making, Carlos?
Indeed,
Oh no, I'm not making it. I haven't committed to it yet.
you should.
So no, it's still Jesus. It's still just a scary prospect. I have to really think about it.
You're gonna prove Von Donegan right, I guess, eh?
No, Von Däniken is Jesus, that fucking cunt. No, that's
He
what
he was a
where,
disingenuous hack.
I'm not that type of where 80 million people died from a population of 40. I should
There
have
you go.
banned him before I said that. I should have
So-
said that
Why did you whack him with the hammer?
Oh
Okay,
shit,
I
Carlos,
just
that was
said,
you? You banned him, like perma-banned him?
yeah, I just got fucking. He's a fucking moron.
Yeah.
He's a liar. He said
Yeah.
he was a biochemist from Brazil. Next thing I know, he's in Switzerland and some other shit, a biologist in
Yeah,
Switzerland.
yeah,
He
yeah.
can never
He-
maintain a.
Yeah, he was a student last week. He's
Oh, I see.
a biochemistry professor this week. I mean, he's an annoying
fuck
little
off.
troll. Yeah, and he gets under my
No.
skin. He's like the only person that can do that. And I've been on 4chan.
I ignored exactly.
Carlos. Sorry
Fuck.
to interrupt. I got dropped for a moment. What's this documentary you're talking about?
I'm not. They want to push me to make a documentary, man. Jesus, I can't do that. I'm not like you. Oh God, I'm.
Okay.
It's frightening.
Can I offer 2 pieces of serious advice? 2 pieces of
Always, man.
serious
Always
advice.
acceptable.
Find the most effective hard worker you know amongst the YouTubers and see if they're interested in collaborating.
Make them do all the work.
No. And in general, if you're offered a choice between an ambitious something and then sitting on your ass and watching TV, take the ambitious something. External pressure is always extremely useful in helping us get shit done. Trust me.
Do you think I don't know? Why do you think I don't sit in front of the TV and I am in here on my computer, my laptop and my computer, talking to you guys, discussing ideas and so on?
I don't mean to imply that you're not
I understand. No, I understand, but it's not. I am ambitious, by the way. Don't get me anyone. No one get me wrong. I am ambitious.
Again, not saying you're not.
But it's
Offering my
not
personal-
my ambition to do things like that, which is
Okay.
different from not.
Okay, fair enough. Then you know what? That's all you got to say. I was just
No. It doesn't mean that I want to make videos about that. Shit. I think I've already from Habib's channel yesterday. I think I'll have to explain what the fuck culture is, and I've already have the script in my head. I will be writing it, and this is promise. Hopefully by next week I will have it. It'll be 10 minutes, so it'll be a quick.
That would be cool.
Yeah, and it's fucking easier. I just have to I have my 2 books here with me, so the people can see what I mean. I have my 2 books, my archaeological dictionary and my fucking first year university basic textbook. It's got everything I need.
Yeah.
So I have all other shit, but I'll link that on. And it's easy. It's a 10-minute quick video.
Great.
I have to. Yeah, I will for the future videos, which I want to improve my visuals. I want to know how to make those animated things that everyone has. The static animations, like you know how Cognitive Thought has those cogwheels running. How the fuck do I do that in, say, Premiere Elements?
I don't know about Premiere Elements, but I know there are like programs on which you can, for example, build a map, like a graphical map, very easily.
Yeah, they have to be
And-
sort of free and stuff.
Actually, I've got this one follower
They
on.
are. These are teaching programs that I've used for years. Also,
Cool.
check out the stuff Roaming Millennial does. Oh God, what's her name? is it some of Griffiths' work maybe, where she has a lot of pictures?
I can do
slide
those
on?
and so on. I like, for example, certain effects like Nicholas Gorov, Wizard of Cause, the flame. I'd like not the flame, but how they put it through the whole video that they do.
So like a looped
Looping.
animation.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I want to add it to my videos. It's small things, but it sort of.
Okay.
I have a new background which I will premiere in my next video. Much better than the cluttered one that I have.
It used to be with a program like Flash, for example, when making animations, you could, just copy and paste that shit. There were other programs that I used to use to make like larger animations and like animated maps where you could simply insert GIFs. So if you wanted a GIF of a wagon with its wheels turning, for the settlers going west in America on this part of the little, animated lecture map, you could do that. You could add a GIF that someone else made and just insert it there like a regular image, like a regular picture. So there's so many resources available for doing simple things like that. I don't know how they integrate into video editing software because I have literally zero experience with it.
I installed on my I really need to get to upgrade my computer because I think the problem is this Windows 7 installed that I have. It's got everything I need, but I really need to do a fresh install and install everything to get work because I can't install some program, something just blocking me. But I'll probably do it. I want to upgrade it. I'll hopefully get it done soon.
Yeah, I know. I'm running hot software myself.
Well, how
I
much money do you have to spend?
I installed Sony Vegas, and I worked on a little bit on it for the
software.
first. Yeah, but then when I tried to open it again, it stopped at initializing external something, and it just wouldn't open. And I disinstalled it, and I have to clean it. It's just too cluttered, my computer, too much shit.
Yeah. You need to format that fucking drive and format that bits and start over. But seriously, reach out to some YouTuber whose effects you admire, whose style you admire, and just ask for help.
Yeah, that's something that I find difficult in do that.
Man, I'll ask for you. I don't give a shit. I literally do not just about those things.
I am so self-conscious.
I'll call PewDiePie. I'll be like, "What up?"
Yeah. I'm so self-conscious of myself asking that.
Drink more. That'll cure that.
Mate, it took me about 6 months to ask my bosses to get a new computer at work.
That's something you should tell Carlos. Hey, you really ought to drink more.
Well then, okay.
I can't drink at work.
You're my friend, man. Send me the names of 3 YouTubers whose work and style you admire, and I will ask for you.
There's elements of every YouTuber I follow. That's the problem. There are things that I like of some ones that I'd like to. If you see my video on my videos where I actually produced a video, not the Hangouts, that's the style I want. With the background I've changed, but basically I want a little fella, man, I think, to exhibit 4 emotions, which they are pointing, anger, laughter, and thinking. These are the 4 emotions which are enough.
A caveman in a tuxedo. A caveman in a tuxedo.
But also, yeah, exactly. But I like something.
I think face banging might be appropriate as well at times. Just something so stupid that you like bang your face against the wall. That might be a good emotion doing food.
No, but I have them pictured in my head. I just can't draw them. If I could draw them, I've been trying to find them on the YouTube on Google, and I've been experimenting on
All right.
playing around.
Carlos,
Photoshop.
I got a
Carlos,
guy.
I'm
I got
gonna-
a guy. I got a guy that's followed me on Twitter, and he's been doing some awesome work. I gave him a thing, like a meme. 2 minutes later, it was already back into there. Like I didn't even get. And like I bet you this kid would be willing to help. Excellent artist too. Excellent artist.
Once upon a time, I worked as a professional illustrator and cartoonist. So I'm a little rusty. Again, like
imagine
a reason
this.
to do stuff, and I will.
Do you guys know this program called FaceRig?
Yeah, Brian from the Honey Badgers uses it. He has like that little dog.
Imagine if you could have a Neanderthal character in there.
Oh, that sounds great.
Now, I don't know how to do
Example,
it. I have FaceRig. I want a character for myself, and I have no clue how to do it. I've been trying, and I failed. But yeah, if we can find someone to make FaceRig characters, that would be pretty cool.
You do know I made my avatar, right? The guy who's looking at you in the face right now, I made that.
Yeah, but that's a stationary avatar. In FaceRig, they can actually be animated, or at least.
You
Nodwing.
can, okay, Carlos, you did meet Robin Gething, I'm sure, and he was in the stream with us last night.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. I've done him.
He's the one who made the one for Nicholas Garoff, so I'm sure he would be more than helpful if you asked him.
This is an example. I made this small video to a friend to see. I'm posting it here. Shit, here we go. That's one. That's, if you guys, the video here that I put, that's what I plan, and I've done it more or less. The figure in the video, he hasn't got a transparent background. I've already figured that out. But that's the style I want, with a different cave background, and that's the figure, more or less theme-wise like that. But that's my would be my trademark. I'm happy with my intro, the cave intro, which puts my name on the wall and a fire, and I have my outro, which the music will change all the time, but the actual animation will be the same. So,
is that the animation for that one you did for Greener Grass?
yes, exactly, the outro. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
okay.
one of them, but I have another one. I can change the music. It's a 10-second clip. I can get any classical music without needing to pay for royalties and all that shit. Because classical music is, I like classical music. It's sort of a bit me. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Gary if I can have that song "Bleed." He does
video.
You like classical music, Castrejo, or Carlos? Damn it! I can't.
Carlos, call me Carlos, man. I love classical music.
Do you like heavy metal?
Some, yeah.
Yo, that was a good song. That was a good song.
Have you ever heard of a band called Epica?
Oh yes, they're pretty good.
Epica is terrific. And it's a mixture of heavy metal and classical music. I think you would enjoy it. It's my favorite band. They're from
What was
the Netherlands.
the quartet that used to perform Metallica on stringed, on like cellos and basses?
That's Apocalyptica.
Jean Jarre does an awesome electronic classical music mix.
Yeah. I think Owen, what you're thinking of is Apocalyptica. That's a different band. They're essentially.
I know. I've heard of Apocalyptica.
They play electric cellos. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is.
The cello is the best string, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, okay, guys, 5 more minutes and we can wrap it up. I need to go to bed. So yeah. But if you see the link of the video that I posted, that's my feel. I'm working to improve it all the time. I have a new background which I will debut soon. It's
link where?
Yeah. Sorry.
Donde está la link? Sorry, that's Spanish, I know, but
on the star or link. It's here in the chat window, the private chat window.
In the Hangout
Which,
chat window.
okay.
I don't know if I made it unlisted or it's not private. I just may have made it unlisted because it was.
No, you just have to open the chat window in the Google Hangouts.
Okay, I gotta open the chat window then. Give me a moment.
It's on the left top corner in Google Hangouts.
Yeah, I've got like 8 million apps open and I'm closing them because my battery's getting really low. So.
I'll
gonna
post
plug
it
this
in Owen. I'll post it in Skype. Don't worry, man.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you a private message in Skype. So
Cool.
just so.
Because I'll if you want, if you're interested in like checking out my former, not even really style. I don't have much left. I can show you a few former illustrations that I did. And a few drawings, and you can decide if you want me to do a caveman illustration or two or whatever. Be delighted to. It'd be an excuse to get back to the saddle.
When did Rory come on? I'll just fucking post it in the general chat no, that's Habib's shit. There we go. A general chat in Skype. There you go. That's what. Just.
Now I want to go off and listen to Epica.
Okay, guys. We are ending it now. People in the chat, thank you for being on. This was just chatting and shit. I may have bored you guys with my huge monologue of why I think pre-agricultural societies are better than post-agricultural societies, but that's just my personal view. Yeah, and I still love post-agricultural societies because otherwise I wouldn't be here chatting to you guys with all this fucking awesome technology, which 100 years ago would have been considered, 110 years ago would have been considered witchcraft. So yeah.
He's got a magic box that allows him to talk to people far away. Burn him!
Burn him in the stake. So yes,
this might actually be useful to society. Burn him.
Each person, please shill your channel.
King Voodoo Magic Man.
Who's being first? Come on, shill.
I'm not going to
I
block
think
my
everybody knows who I am. I'm St. Clair. I make videos about, well, the direction I'm planning on going is making a lot of videos about human history and particularly philosophical history. And if that sounds like something you might be interested in, I'm going to popularize a lot of important concepts about philosophy in future videos. I think that's important for people to learn. So if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, go ahead and give me a subscription.
I'm looking forward to that.
I'm going to try reverse psychology this time. This is Gunny, reverse psychology. Sub my page, because every time I tell people not to sub my page, I get fucking 10 subs.
Well, you can send them to me then, mate.
But I don't know how to send subs, except for to ask them, and I always do. Anyway. It was a good one, even if I did just come in at the end.
Well, okay, then I'm going to go next. I know I talk a lot anyway, so I have a small channel where I try to make people think. It's a response. It's new stuff. It's not because I'm right. I could be wrong just as the next guy. So please come with criticism, and yeah, keep an open mind, but not too open. Don't let it drop out.
Oh, I love that. Oh, can I use that? I love that.
Yeah, sure. It's not mine.
Oh, okay.
Habib, next.
Well, it's nice to be here. Thanks for inviting me again. Don't subscribe to me. I hate my subscribers. They just troll the chat. So. By the way, I'm looking at your chat here.
That's a capitalist mindset you have there.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I'm looking at your chat here, and everybody here is subscribed to me anyway. So who am I going to shield to?
Exactly. You're right. Yeah, but who knows? Someone will check later on this funny chat we had here.
I'm just the ex-Muslim Arab. I'm the token minority that people just drag me to streams. Just go like, hey, we've got a minority here. We're not all white dudes.
Actually, mate, I'm sorry, you're not the minority. Do you know how many Arabs there are in the world?
Well, I'm the minority in this chat.
Oh, yeah, you're a minority.
Using his chat, so I'm a minority.
Yeah, I'm the only nugget here, so I'm a minority. You're not special, Focus Break. You're not special.
Yeah, I'm freaking Native American, for crying out loud. Well, in part.
Oh no, everybody wants to be a minority. I see how it is. I see how it is.
That's kind of how it is. Yeah.
I'll be
Everybody
the
wants to be special. Everybody wants their own pronoun.
I'll be
to
the
be
oppressor.
Or in this case,
Mine is-
it's not
You know
pronoun.
what?
In this case, it's not pronoun. It's adjective.
Well,
Untermenschen. I am the pure Aryan blood.
Yeah, that makes you a minority, mate.
Well, to be fair, even though my genes say I'm 1/4 Native, I identify as a cis het white dude. So I'll be the oppressor.
I identify as pure shitlord.
As a cisgendered geisha.
I am a shitlordian. Seriously, cis het white middle class American wasp. You know.
Yeah, well, if you want to know, I answer to the pronoun master. I made a video about it. Feel free to check.
Yes, I answer to the pronoun master as well, but I think it's for different reasons than you.
You don't know that.
Although I think all that's left is VJ Eon.
Well, as I said, don't subscribe to my channel. I'm not really making any videos anymore. I'm planning on doing a couple more hangouts, but as you can see, I'm taking a few things apart.
Just make videos. Just make videos of yourself.
It won't be on my channel, so.
Just make videos of yourself disassembling things. People will watch that.
I'll be doing that, but it won't be on my channel, so there's no use subscribing to me. You won't see those videos anyway, so.
Do you know that, Eon? Do you know that would be the perfect video to make? You would never get a copyright.
Guns.
You would never get a copyright strike. You would never get a community strike, and yeah.
Okay, crosstalk. I'll jump in.
Yep.
My name is Owen Salisbury, and I live in Vietnam. I have lived here for 6 years. I don't make videos, but Carlos, my friend, is kind enough to invite me onto his chats from time to time, in which we discuss life, the universe, and everything.
And the answer
Reporting
is
from Vietnam.
Apparently.
42.
And life,
Good
the
night.
universe, and the varieties of dates.
Don't forget
I
about
like
Jesus.
I eat dates, but I prefer figs. Thank you.
Everyone done? Yep. Just me left. Good night, people.
Going back to
thank
bed,
you for
motherfucker.
tuning in.
It's- It's
Just
too-
an announcement to make. I'm moving my channel, this stream, to Saturday nights. Get more people on. I think we'll get more views, and kind of the Australians and the Americans in the opposite end. So be sort of more balanced, because the Americans.
Yeah, we'll have to have to hammer in the Aussies again. They're getting lazy. The fucking Aussies are getting lazy.
So, okay. Good night, people. Oh, I might do impromptu streams as well. They seem to be working out for me. So,
Especially if you have enough beer and whiskey with you.
always have beer and whiskey with me whenever I do a live stream.
Impromptu streams.
Hey, they
Just
want you.
pick a
Hold
theme.
on, guys. They want you to put your Twitter handles in the chat, please. So they
One
can follow
bourbon, one scotch, one beer. I'm sorry, I just wanted to say that. I've always
Yes,
wanted
do
to
that.
Hangout chat or real chat?
hang
chat.
out in the chat.
The public chat.
Out of here, guys. Later on.
See you,
Yeah,
Danny.
I-
Man.
See you later.
Thank you. Always thank you, man. Thank you.
Je n'ai pas un handle de Twitter, so. And it's so freaking early. It's like 7 o'clock. I'm going back to bed for an hour. Peace,
Sleep well, mate.
See you, mate.
guys.
Mine
Gash
is
yourself.
shit. I'll also put them up in the description. So, of course, yes,
Yes.
people. These are fucking awesome people.
Some of them are.
The others, yeah, well, I'm not so.
I'm not.
I suppose that's a difference of opinion then.